This is my mom, Crystal. Very lovely. So the first question in our interview is, what is your biggest accomplishment?
My biggest accomplishment is raising my children, and that's not always the kind of accomplishment people think about, but to me that's the thing that's mattered most, because you and Jay will affect the future of other people and do great things, and so I'll live through you, and so the way I've raised you, I feel like you've turned out well, and so I think that's my biggest accomplishment.
Okay. What is your best memory?
My best memory is when you and Jay were born.
That's pretty great. What is your biggest goal in the next 5 years?
I've been on 3 mission trips, as you know, and one with you, the last one, and I'm hoping to return to Kenya or somewhere in Africa for another mission trip in the next 5 years.
Me too. How is life similar to when you were growing up?
I feel like people, as they grow, the stages are similar, even though things are very different around you. And what I mean is, like, you know, your friends being very important to you, just like when I was a teenager, my friends were important to me. I see you going through stages sometimes that I remember going through, as far as, you know, maybe being a little embarrassed by your parents sometimes, and I remember those times, or so I think that's the things that don't change, is the feelings that we have and the stages that we go through.
Okay. How is life different now than from when you were a teenager?
One of the biggest differences involves the internet and social media, and I think that now that's just a constant presence in your life, which wasn't true for us at all until I was in college. Even then, it wasn't in my hand like it is for you now. And so I think that what we see on social media, even though we know that it may not be true, in our mind at the moment it feels true. Mm-hmm. And we see the best of everybody usually, and we're sort of comparing ourselves now to everybody's picture of what they present and not necessarily their reality. So I think there's a lot of pressure that goes along with that. And I just think that there's also a lot of opportunities for things that can be damaging to teenagers through the internet.
Okay. Would you like to change spots with a teenager now and grow up with technology? Why or why not? Just kind of
sort of ties
that,
in.
Yeah.
No, there's great things with technology, and I love my phone, and just like the younger people do now, but I wouldn't switch it though, just because of those pressures that we talked about. I think it just adds a lot. It's already hard to be a teenager, and that just adds a lot of temptation, a lot of pressure that we didn't have to experience in those ways. So yeah. I wouldn't want to change.
Okay. Very valid reason. If you could offer one piece of advice to teenagers today, what would it be?
Well, like I tell you and Jay sometimes, when you're going somewhere doing something, just enjoy every minute. You know, soak up every minute. And that sounds very cliche, I know, but my grandmother used to tell me that the years are going to go very fast, and you know, it didn't seem like that as a young person, but you look back and think, wow, I'm 43, so the years have gone pretty fast, and just know that God has created you for a purpose, and focus on that purpose, and try to let the frustrations of daily life and the heartaches and things like that just, not be your focus.
What is the appropriate age to start dating?
I can't really come up with a set number, even though it would be fun to pick one for you, but later.
Great.
But to me, dating, even though I'm speaking not from what I did, of course, but what I've learned from what I did. Your daddy and I started dating in high school, and I'm very thankful that we're together, but typically that's not the way things end up. And we can see now that we missed a lot of time with our friends that we could have spent with them because we were so focused on each other. And I think dating is more about finding somebody to spend your life with, and you're just not in high school at the stage to be ready to even think about that. So I think just the idea would be to hold off, as long as you can, or go out with groups of people and not try to get into serious relationships until you're a little bit older.
Okay. If you could go back and change one thing, would you? And if so, what would it be?
Yeah, as I look back over my life, for a big part of my life, I've spent a lot of time worrying, to a level more than what a lot of people experience, and that has caused a lot of time to be spent on that rather than just, like I said earlier, just living and enjoying each moment. So I would definitely change that, and not worry as much as I have.
Okay, that's all. So, yay!
Yay.